This is a demo of the backup functionality in OpenAdmin Tool for Informix. This demo will show how to use OpenAdmin Tool to configure, schedule, and monitor automated on-tape backups, as well as run on-demand backups of your Informix database server. The backup functionality in OAT is located under the Space Administration section of the menu. Expand Space Administration and click on Backup. This is the backup page in OAT. The first time you come here, OAT will prompt you asking if you want to configure automated backups for your database server now. This configuration step is also required if you want to run on-demand backups through OAT. If you don't want to configure backups through OAT and click on No, you can still use this page to monitor the status of backups run outside of OAT. You will also have the option of later configuring automated backups through OAT by going to the Configuration tab. For the purposes of this demo, however, we are going to select Yes and configure automated backups now. Once you select Yes, OAT will open the Backup Configuration Wizard, which will guide you through setting up and scheduling automated backups. The first page of the wizard is where you specify the backup utility. For OAT version 2.72, OnTape is the only backup utility supported in OAT. The OnTape utility allows you to back up storage spaces without using a storage manager. On the wizard, choose OnTape as the backup utility and click Next. The second page of the wizard is where you specify the configuration and set up the schedule. First, you must specify the path to the storage device to be used for the backup. You can specify a tape, a disk file, or a disk directory. For this demo, we will choose a directory and provide the path. You can also specify the block size of the device. OAT defaults the block size to what is specified in the database server's configuration file, which in our case is 32K. In most cases, you'll want to use the block size set in the onconfig file of the database server. The bottom section of this page is used for setting up the schedule for automated backups. For each level, choose whether to enable the backup, set a start time, and select the days on which the backup should run. Let's start with level 0, which is a complete backup of the storage spaces. Let's schedule level 0 backups to run every Saturday at 1 a.m. Let's also schedule regular level 1 on-tape backups. A level 1 backup is quicker to run because it backs up only the delta since the last level 0 backup. In our case, let's schedule level 1 backups to run twice a week. We'll have them run at 2 a.m. every Tuesday and Thursday. To disable automated backups for a particular level, make sure the Enable checkbox is not checked. For this demo, we will leave level 2 backups disabled. The last page of the wizard allows you to review your choices before submitting. You can review your configuration choices as well as the schedule for each level. After reviewing your choices, click Finish to submit and set up automated backups for your database server. After closing the Backup Configuration Wizard, you will be taken to the Status tab. Use this tab to review the status of backups for the database server as a whole, as well as for individual storage spaces. This tab shows the status of backups run automatically and run on demand through OAT, as well as backups run outside of OAT. The status column gives an indication of whether backups at this database server are current or not. We see a warning icon since this database server has never been backed up, which we can also see in the last backup column. The next backup column shows us when the next automated backup is scheduled to happen for each level. We scheduled level 0 backups to run on Saturdays, which is about 3.5 days from now. The next level 1 backup is scheduled to run just under 24 hours from now. In our case, since this database server has never been backed up, we should run a level 0 backup now. We can do this in OAT by going to the Administration tab. Since we've already configured backups in OAT, we can now run on-demand backups whenever needed. From the Administration tab, just click the Backup button for whichever level of backup you want to run. This will use the database scheduler to submit a backup task immediately. After submitting the backup, we are automatically taken back to the Status tab. This shows us that a backup is currently running on the database server. After waiting a while for the backup to complete, I can click on the Refresh button to refresh the status. After refreshing, I can now see that the backup is complete. The Status tab reflects that I have a current backup with the green icon, and that backup at the moment is 38 seconds old. The Logs tab is also useful for monitoring the status of backups. This tab shows the command history and the results of each execution of a backup command run through OAT. I can see here the actual command executed when I ran my level 0 backup, and I can also see the time it ran and the return message. If a backup command ever fails, it would be reflected here on this tab along with the return message for why it failed. This concludes our demo of the backup functionality in OAT. We saw how to configure and set up automated backups using OAT. We saw how to run on-tape backups on demand, and we saw how to monitor the status of backups and backup commands. Thank you for viewing this demo. To find more demos on OpenAdmin Tool for Informix, go to openadmintool.org.